Shalom, shalom, fam. We're back in Jeremiah 2. We're going from 19 to 23. I know it's getting a little old, but, that's how it is. Let your misfortunes reprove you. Let your afflictions rebuke you. Mark well how bad and bitter it is. For you forsake Yah your Elohim. That all for me is not in you, declares Yah Elohim of hosts. For long ago you broke your yoke, tore off your yoke bands, and said, I will not work. On every high hill and under every verdant tree you recline as a whore. I planted you with noble vines, all with choicest seed. Alas, I find you changed into a base and alien vine. Though you wash with natron and use much lye, your guilt is ingrained before me, declares Yah Elohim. How can you say, I am not defiled? I have not gone after the Baalim. Look at your deeds in the valley. Consider what you have done, like a lustful she-camel, restless, running about, or like a wild ass used to the desert, sniffing the wind in her eagerness, whose passion none can restrain, nor that seek her need grow weary. In her season they'll find her. So, what was it saying? How can you say that you're not defiled? You have to admit it. You have to declare your trespass. You got to admit that you've been defiled by this idol, this stumbling block that you've put in front of you. Now you can go and read Jeremiah 3, 1 through 15. Those are good verses right there. But we're gonna go to Jeremiah 13, 25 and 27. This shall be your lot. You measure your measured portion from me, declares Yah, because you forgot me and trusted in falsehood. I in turn will lift your skirts over your face, and your shame shall be seen. I behold your adulteries, your lustful lying, your unbridled depravity, your vile acts on the hills of the countryside. Woe to you, O Jerusalem, who will not be clean. How much longer shall it be? I mean, how much longer are you going to go about continuing to worship a God that doesn't save? That's like trying to drive a car without wheels. I mean, it's absolutely idiotic. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 34, 18 through 20. Yeah. Where we at? I will make the men, okay? GMS. I will make the men who violate my covenant, who did not fulfill the terms of the covenant which they made before me, like the calf which they cut in two, so as to pass between the halves. Okay? All right. Now you can go to Genesis 15, 9 through 21, 9 through 20, something like that. And that'll give you a good understanding of that. But we're going to go to Ezekiel 16. I want to try to read as much. I want to try to read as much of this as possible. I don't have much time. The word of Yah came to me Mortal, proclaim Jerusalem's abominations to her, and say, Thus says Yah Elohim to Jerusalem. By origin and birth you are from the land of the Canaanites. Your father was an Amorite, and your mother a Hittite. As for your birth, when you were born, your navel cord was not cut, and you were not bathed in water to smooth you. You were not rubbed with salt, nor were you swaddled. No one pitied you enough to do any one of these things for you out of compassion for you. On the day that you were born, you were left lying, rejected in the open field. When I passed by, now this is Yah, when I passed by you and saw you wallowing in your blood, I said to you, live in spite of your blood. Yeah, I said to you, live in spite of your blood. I let you grow like the plants of the field, and you continue to grow up until you attain to womanhood. So again, it's showing you that Jerusalem is the woman. Until your breast became firm and your hair sprouted. You were still naked and bare when I passed by you again and saw that your time of love had arrived. So I spread my robe over you and covered your nakedness and entered into a covenant with you by oath, declares Yah Elohim. Thus you became mine. Okay, we can kind of just stop right there. Because as it, what verse was that? I believe it was Exodus. Well, I think it wasn't. It was one of those Exodus verses. Maybe it was Exodus 19, maybe. Or Exodus, no, it may have been Exodus 24. But when he sprinkled the blood on the people, like I said, it was like when the hymen was broke. And what did Yah say right here? Let me get it. Let me get it. Let me get it. Let me get it. I closed. No. What is it? So I spread my robe over you and covered your nakedness, and I entered into a covenant with you by oath, declares Yah Elohim. Thus you became mine. I spread my robe over you. Okay, what does that what does that mean? What is he talking about right there? All right. You know, we can keep on. You can read that whole one for yourself. Let me try to find a banger on this. After all your wickedness, woe to you, declares Yah Elohim. You built yourself an eminence and made yourself a mound in every square. You built your mound on every crossroad, and you sullied your beauty and spread your legs to every passerby, and you multiplied your harlotries. You played the whore. Okay, so again, I gotta say it. Okay, you can look at a woman and just say she's a whore and call her a whore or whatever, but it don't mean nothing until your woman or your partner plays the whore on you. Alright. And let's go to Ezekiel 23. Let's go to Ezekiel 23. Now this is one of my favorite things, and people at my work, they know I like talking about this. They know. Alright. I'm gonna try to read as much of this as possible. Ezekiel 23. And the word of Yah came to me, mortal. Once there were two women, daughters of one mother. They played the whore in Kemet. They played the whore while still young. There their breasts were squeezed, and there their virgin nipples were handled. Their names were the elder Aholah and her sister Aholibah. They became mine. So right here, I would kind of ask you, did y'all have two wives? Because he said, they became mine. So all this stuff about okay, that's another topic. Okay, and they bore sons and daughters. As for their names, Aholah is Samaria, and Aholabah is Jerusalem. Aholah whored while she was mine, and she lusted after her lovers, after the Assyrian warriors clothed in blue, governors and prefects, horsemen mounted on steeds, all of them handsome young fellows. She bestowed her favors upon them, upon all that pick of the Assyrians, and defiled herself with all the fetishes after which she lusted. She did not give up the whoring she had begun with the Mizraims, for they had lain with her in her youth, and they had handled her virgin nipples, and had poured out their lust upon her. Sometimes I kind of think that's kind of pointing out to if you start having sex at a young age, it's hard to turn away from that because you played the whore in your youth. Therefore, I deliver her into the hands of her lovers, into the hands of the Assyrians, after whom she lusted. They exposed her nakedness. They seized her sons and daughters, and she herself was put to the sword. And because of the punishment inflicted upon her, she became a byword among the women. Her sister Aholabah saw this, yet her lusting was more depraved than her sisters, and her whoring more debased. She lusted after the Assyrian governors and prefects and warriors, gorgeously clad, horsemen mounted on steeds, all of them handsome young fellows. Okay, so you get the point. I mean, really, by now you get the point. Israel and Judah were whores to the Most High under this marriage vow. All right, Aholabah. All right, y'all can go and read Hosea 2. That's another good one. I think I'm gonna. But we're gonna go to Hosea 5 and 4. Their habits do not let them turn back to their Elohim because of their lecherous impulse within them. They pay no heed to Yah. Okay, that impulse within you, just like a sexual impulse, because little what is it? Too much information, man. I love women, so that can be kind of my downfall too. I slip sometimes because I like women. Sometimes a little bit too much, but that lustful impulse, sometimes we gotta learn how to control that. All right, we're gonna end it off with, we're almost done. We're gonna go to Malachi 2. We're gonna start at verse 14. But you ask, because of what? Because Yah is a witness between you and the wife of your youth, and with whom you have broken faith, though she is your partner and covenanted spouse. Did not the one that make all, so that all remaining life breath is his? And what does that one seek but godly folk? So be careful of your life breath, and let no one break faith with the wife of his youth. For I detest divorce, said Yah, the Elohim of Yasharal, and covering oneself with lawlessness, as with a garment, saith Yah of hosts. So be careful of your life breath, and do not act treacherously. So the wife of our youth is the covenant, but it's also our on women to go outside of your nation. Yah hates that. He says in Malachi that he will destroy the man that gets with the woman of a strange Elohim. And me personally, I've seen that in my life. I mean, you know how niggas are nowadays. They love being with white women. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of my brothers that mess with white women, white females that are so, they destroy it. But all right, we're gonna end it off with this. We're in Malachi 3. We're just gonna read verse 22, maybe. Yeah, let's just read 22. All right, Malachi 3:22. Be mindful of the teachings of my servant Moshe, whom I charged at Horeb with laws and rules for Yasharal. Be mindful of that covenant because it's a marriage vow. Again, do you want your partner, your wife or your husband, calling on another man, another woman? Is that what you want? Is that what Yah wants? Is that what he really wants? All right. This is the end of the presentation. Married to the Most High, an arranged marriage. Shalom to the family. Peace.